Objective 2.3. Explain various types of vulnerabilities. Think of it as the weak spots in your castle. There could be quite a good number of weaknesses, ranging from application vulnerabilities, operating system vulnerabilities, hardware vulnerabilities, virtualization vulnerabilities, weaknesses in cloud-specific or supply chain, as well as web vulnerabilities. We also have weaknesses in cryptographic misconfiguration, mobile devices, and zero-day vulnerabilities. Now, let's start with application vulnerabilities. Unauthorized code can be inserted into a program's memory space. This is known as memory injection. Or, data could exceed the allocated memory, leading to potential exploits, which is buffer overflow. Race conditions refers to conflicts that arise when multiple processes are trying to gain your shared resources. Malicious updates are also very critical when attackers tend to introduce harmful code through software updates. Now, for operating system vulnerabilities, as well as web-based vulnerabilities, we have weaknesses in websites or web apps, which could allow the attacker to use SQL injection, where they manipulate the input to exploit database vulnerabilities, as well as cross-site scripting, where malicious scripts are injected into web pages. For hardware vulnerabilities, the low-level software controlling hardware known as firmware could be exploited. Also, security gaps due to discontinued hardware support, which is known as end of life, could also present an opportunity for attackers. Older hardware with outdated security measures, say cryptography, could be a point of weakness. Now, virtualization vulnerabilities include virtual machine escape, where unauthorized breakout from a virtual machine to the actual host of that virtual machine could take place. Also, virtual machine sprawling, which is the unmanaged virtual machines that are installed on your network. Virtual machines could also be reused, where resource reuse could lead to vulnerabilities. Cloud-specific vulnerabilities refer to vulnerabilities that are unique to cloud computing environments. Same as cryptographic vulnerabilities, focuses on weaknesses in the encryption methods that attackers exploit. Misconfiguration vulnerabilities are errors in system setup leading to security holes. But we do have supply chain vulnerabilities, which could be based on the service provider having risk from third-party services used in the supply chain, or a hardware provider where vulnerabilities could be originating from our hardware suppliers. Also, we eventually have software providers where we have risks that are tied to the software components from external providers. Mobile devices tend to be quite vulnerable themselves. You have installed apps from unofficial resources or installed apps from unofficial sources, which could risk having malicious software. This is known as sideloading. Also, jailbreaking, which bypasses the operating system restrictions, can lead to a very compromised device security. Finally, zero-day vulnerabilities are the unknown software flaws that can be exploited by attackers before the fixes are made available. This covers all the areas we can discuss on Objective 2.3. Next up, Objective 2.4, we will be looking at how to analyze indicators of malicious activity given a particular scenario.